So if you're watching this, you probably want to know how to crochet and you don't have any previous knowledge. I'll start by saying crochet is really easy to do. I only started crocheting last year. Like I only learned how to crochet last year, and it's quite easy. Once you know a few stitches, like even one or two, you can literally do anything else. So before you start, like, be encouraged, it's not that hard to do. If you learn one or two stitches, you could literally make anything, a scarf, a jumper, a top, like anything you want. You literally just need to know how to chain, single crochet, and maybe if you want another stitch, like half double crochet, triple crochet, shell crochet. Like for example, I made this top and I literally did single crochet at the bottom and the rest is just half double crochet. And at the end I wanted to be fancy and did a shell stitch. But you can get into those stitches, like the more complicated ones, the further you get along. Like this I made, it's just shell stitches, but you could literally make a headband the same thing with just one type of stitch, like a single crochet stitch. You get to know that as you go on. So I just wanted to say that crocheting is actually really easy and you don't need to know a lot, because there are a lot of stitches that you could learn, and it might be intimidating to see all these stitches and not know any. But I guarantee you, you only need to know one or two and you can literally make anything you would like to make. And as you go on, you can learn more stitches. Also, I want to say there's so many tutorials and so many patterns you can use, free patterns, and it's a really easy thing. There's so many resources to use. As I said, I started learning crochet just about a year ago, and now I think I'm great. Like I can follow any pattern, and I've just been watching tutorials and watching videos. Also, I'm assuming that you've already got your crochet hook and your yarn material, but if you don't, I recommend you start with a medium hook, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 millimeters. The one I was using in the tutorial, let me show you the ones I have. Give me a second. So this is like two complete different sizes, but yeah, this one is 7 millimeters and this one is 2 millimeters, so you can definitely see the difference in size. But I wouldn't recommend starting with a 2 or a 7. I would recommend starting with 5 millimeters, 4 millimeters, or even 6 millimeters. 6 millimeters I might say is also a bit too big to start with. Definitely don't start with the smaller one. It will be really hard to start with small ones. So start maybe with a 4 millimeter hook or a 5 millimeter hook. And when you buy yarn, on the back of it, or on the sticker, I guess, it should tell you what size hook it is for needles and for crochet. So bear in mind when you're buying the yarn which hook it should be for. Don't buy a yarn that isn't for the hook. But having said that, a general rule is you can use a bigger hook on smaller yarn, but you can't use a smaller hook on big yarn. So if you're going to buy, keep that in mind. Like if you're not going to buy the right size, at least if it's a bigger hook, then at least buy smaller yarn, but don't buy a big yarn for a small hook, because that won't work. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you haven't yet gotten your materials, keep that in mind on just the sizing, and it's better as a beginner to start in the medium area than to start really small or really big. So the first thing to learn about crocheting is to make a slip knot. So I'm gonna show it here on how to make a slip knot, and then maybe I'll making a slip knot, I'm going to video my hands as well. This is gonna be how you make a slip stitch. You basically make an X on your fingers, so you wrap it around and make an X, and once you have an X, you go under, then over, and you pull that through. So I'm gonna do it again so you can see. You get it, you hold like this, wrap it around, make your X, go under, over, and then pull through, and that's how you have your chain. That's how you have your slip knot, as you can see. So a slip knot is basically this thing that starts it. Think of it, if you're sewing, right, something to hold on. Like if you sewing by hand and needle, you have to tie a knot to the end of the thread to hold it, right? So you need to know a slip knot, and you need to know how to chain, which chaining is simply, look at my hands, you hold it, wrap your hook around, and wrap your hook around and pull through. That's a chain. So wrap your hook around, pull through, wrap your hook around, pull through, wrap your hook around, pull through. You want this tension to be quite tight, so you have to hold it tightly, but you go to the left of it and pull through. If you are left-handed, you go to the right. So to the left of it, and then you literally just pull it through, like just drag it down. It's so easy. Look, pull it through. Again, left of it, pull it through. Again, lift of it, pull it through, and that's how you chain. And then once you chain, because you can't chain forever, otherwise you have a really long chain and it won't make sense. But what's also really important, and what I learned as a beginner that was quite hard for me, was to go back in the chain. So if you want to, let's say we make this into a square, right? After you learned how to chain, so this is, let's say this is your, you want to make this into a square, you push your hook into the existing chain you have. I'm going to demonstrate it better. I'll say, let's say I'm making a headband, okay? So this is my chain, this would be the width. Now to go back, how do you do a single crochet? You put it through, okay? You put it through it, and you pull once, and then you have 2 chains here, and pull through both at the same time. So look again at what I'm doing. You go literally inside, like between, if you look, there's like 2, 1, 2. So you literally just go straight between that, and then you pull through once, and then you pull through twice. Push through once, twice, push through once, twice. And so now when you come to the end, like when you come to the beginning of where you've started, to go back, you're going to chain 1, and then you flip your work around, because if you don't flip your work around, it will kind of slide to one side, and if you don't chain it, it will start to slowly decrease, like it will be sloped like this instead of straight. So now that you've chained 1, you're going to do the same thing. Skip this first one. So we're going back to continue our single crochet. So don't go through the first one, but go through the second one, and we're just doing the same thing we've done. 1, 2. Flip your work. Always remember to flip your work. You see how it's the same length. If I don't flip my work, it's not going to be the same length, and so much and so forth. And if you made a mistake, you just pull and everything comes undone, except this yarn is so stubborn. I just wanted to teach you about how to chain, how to make a slip knot, and how to do single crochets. But truly, it's so simple just to start these small things and continue practicing. Practicing truly makes perfect. Like I will show, I don't know if I still have, but like the first thing I did and the last thing I've made, you just have to practice and you get it. It's a bit hard at first, but once you get the concept, grasp the concept, and know different stitches, or even just one stitch, then you can literally make anything. Again, don't be shy, use tutorials, use as many tutorials as you need. I've done, and it's really helpful. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned at least how to chain, how to start your slip knot, how to come back and do a single crochet, and practice. Yeah, like you can start making off a square or even a headband. Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this is useful. If people want a tutorial on more detailed things like half double crochet, triple crochet, double crochet, chain stitches, like other stitches, I could definitely make that tutorial, or tutorial on how I made that top, or how I made this headband. Like I can definitely do those tutorials. But as a beginner, I hope this helps, and I hope it works for you. If you manage to crochet, let me know.